For you formed my inward parts. You covered me in my mother's womb. I will praise you, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Marvelous are your works, and that my soul knows very well. My frame was not hidden from you when I was made in secret, and skillfully wrought in the lowest parts of the earth. Your eyes saw my substance, being yet unformed, and in your book they all were written, the days fashioned for me, when as yet there was none of them. Abortion, the intentional killing of human life in the womb. Abortion is not just politics, statistics, or a rights debate. Abortion involves real people in real situations. In 1973, Roe v. Wade federally made abortion on demand a legal reality in the United States. So why has this debate about abortion not been settled? Why is it still being discussed decades later? It is because we are discussing human life. The key to the abortion debate is understanding what a human is, and science supports the pro-life stance. Human life begins at conception. The justices in the Roe v. Wade case refused to define when life begins, saying it was difficult to define. If there was a possibility of life at conception, would it not be irresponsible to allow abortion? Is life really difficult to define? What can science tell us? A human at conception meets the scientific qualifications for biological life. A human at conception meets the scientific qualifications for an organism. So far we have life from a scientific perspective. Stop and ask yourself, did you become a human, or have you always been a human from conception? Does cutting the umbilical cord suddenly make you human? No. At conception you are already a unique genetic human. Science reveals that at conception, you already had a unique human DNA. That DNA contained the information for your unique hair color, eye color, and personality. You are not your mother or your father. At conception, you were already a unique genetic human. To say that you were not yet human is an unscientific argument. Those that support abortion try to dehumanize a baby in the womb by using the term fetus. Fetus is just a Latin term for offspring. The offspring is not potential human life. The offspring is actual human life with great potential. Your history starts at conception. At conception, you were already a unique genetic human. At 18 to 25 days, your heart started beating with unique blood. This was your blood and not your mother's blood. At 8 weeks, your brain waves could have been detected. You also had a nervous system that could detect pain. And you already had a unique set of fingerprints. These were your fingerprints and not your mother's. At 9 to 10 weeks, you could squint, swallow, and move your tongue. At 12 to 13 weeks, you could suck your thumb. All of this development was before the 5th month, when your mom could feel you move. With ultrasound technology, your mom could have seen your movement before the 5th month. With ultrasound technology, your mom could have seen some of your unique features. Take note. We have not yet discussed the biblical fact that you're special, because you were made in the image of God. Science reveals that you were never anything other than human. At conception, you are already a unique genetic human. Your life has value. Your life has always had value. The Bible reveals that in the day that God created man, He made him in the likeness of God. You are made in the image of God. You are different from all the rest of creation. You are not an animal. You are a human that has value. How should we measure the value of a human life? Abortion permits people to measure the value. Roe v. Wade allowed abortion for the health of the mother, but this health was broadly defined to include medical, social, and psychological. It is therapeutic abortion for any reason, abortion on demand. So the value of human life is measured by the wants of the mother. Since the baby is a unique genetic human, can interference with the mom's school or work override the value of a human life? Since the baby is a unique genetic human, can the ability of the mom to afford to raise the child override the value of a human life? Since the baby is a unique genetic human, can the mother's wants and desires have a greater value than a human life? The United States court has argued that it must protect potential human life. What is potential human life? The argument is that a unique genetic human is not a human until the baby can live outside of the womb on its own, that the baby can breathe outside of the womb, that the baby can eat outside of the womb, that the baby can move outside of the womb. How does this argument hold up for a human that is already outside of the womb? If a human has to be on a ventilator to breathe, have they stopped being human? If a human has to be on a feeding tube to eat, have they stopped being human? If a paralyzed human cannot move without assistance, have they stopped being human? Some abortion supporters try to argue that a baby in the womb is not yet human because a unique genetic human has a lack of consciousness or reasoning abilities. How does this argument hold up for a human that is already outside of the womb? Does a certain IQ level make somebody human? Some abortion supporters try to argue that a unique genetic human in the womb should be killed if the baby has some type of birth defects. What is the value of a human life? Are blind people not human? Are mute people not human? Are lame people not human? Are people with Down syndrome not human? Are people with dwarfism not human? The devil's mission is to steal and to kill and to destroy. Jesus has come that we might have life more abundantly. Jesus did not come to seek and destroy the blind, lame, and deaf. Jesus came to heal. What is the value of human life? That is a question we all must answer. People that want their child call the human a baby in the womb. People that want to abort their child call the human a fetus, trying to dehumanize their offspring. What is the value of human life? Abortion supporters try to set up a straw man argument in the abortion debate. They cry out for women's rights, but ignore the scientific facts about human life in the womb. We should not be unconcerned about human life. The church must not be unconcerned about human life. There are women that have chosen abortion that need the love of Christ. There are unwanted children that need the love of Christ. There are mothers without support that need the love of Christ. Let us not love in word or in tongue, but in deed and in truth. The Bible commends us not to murder. Whoever sheds man's blood, by man his blood shall be shed, for in the image of God he is made man. Human beings are made in the image of God. We are special creations. Are you okay with killing a human? That is what abortion does. It kills a unique genetic human. Some abortions are done with a vacuum that sucks out parts of the baby. Some abortions are done by cutting up the baby and taking out the parts. Some abortions are done by crushing the baby's skull. Some abortions are done by poisoning the baby with salt. Some abortions are done by C-section and leaving the baby to die. All abortions are done by killing a human. Those that support abortion, the burden of proof is on you. You need to prove that an unborn child is not a human. Unless you can scientifically prove that, you have no argument. All human life is special. For you formed my inward parts. You covered me in my mother's womb. I will praise you, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Marvelous are your works, and that my soul knows very well. My frame was not hidden from you when I was made in secret, and skillfully wrought in the lowest parts of the earth. Your eyes saw my substance, being yet unformed, and in your book they all were written, the days fashioned for me, when as yet there were none of them.